I'm going to attempt to describe to you where we are in the process of rebuilding the airplane while it's in flight. So this is something like the process of what happens after Neil described. We get the book from the editorial team and we start to build a book. In the original way, original meaning 3 years ago, mostly we were working toward producing something that would be printed and put into warehouses and sent out to retailers. Metadata refers to that information that is information about the book that helps it be sold. So things like title, byline, price, description, categorizations, a number of things of that nature. And those are all very useful in selling things, but in the traditional terms, you could sort of look at the book and tell what that was. Now it needs to ride along separately. So now, this is what we're doing these days. We are still on the top level working with a process that produces books that go to the printer and to warehouses and to retailers. We're still developing metadata and we're sending it out with that kind of sales information. But we also have, as you look at the bottom part, some things where we take what we are sending off to the printer and also massage it somewhat into various ebook formats. The two most common are PDF and EPUB. The PDF is pretty much a snapshot of what you see in the print book pages, and some of our vendors prefer that format. And then EPUB is the reflowable format, which is based pretty much on web technology, but is kind of actually clunkier than the web right now and is not good for some of our more complicated materials, but that's going to change. Anyway, we have a digital distributor that has been one of our major partners, CoreSource, a division of Ingram, and they're the ones who are actually responsible for the technology of sending the content and the metadata out to all the retailers. So this is working pretty well now, and it would be fine, except that things are changing again. As of June 1st, EPUB version 3 has been introduced as a file format. EPUB version 3 actually allows for a lot more in the way of digital enhancement in terms of design and appearance of books, but also it allows a regular way of adding movies, videos, all kinds of audio or other kinds of enhancements, interactivity, in a standardized way, and it begins to be something that we probably need to figure out how to do. So we're trying to figure out how to do that. One of the details in this diagram that you'll see that may be important is that the metadata now is going to start to be embedded in the product. So we need to know what that is while we're making it. Right now, we've been putting that out till we kind of didn't have to in the last minute. No more last minute, guys. And our digital distributor is being very good at building the channels to keep this all moving along, but we'll see as we get more channels if this will still work. Anyway, I'm now looking into the future, and David will start to talk about that, where I think our market in especially those topics where people are trying to learn things, which is a lot of what we publish, the print book is really only one manifestation, one small manifestation in terms of how we think about developing the content. And that we're going to be adding video and audio, we're going to be adding learning tools, we're going to be thinking about what our customers want, we're going to have to work with our digital distributors in a different way, we're going to have to work with our production teams in a different way, and ultimately this is going to reflect back to the editorial process because we have to think of how we build these things. And here's just a small example of the kinds of changes that we've had to think about. Johanna has been busy. She's signed up nearly 40 digital retailers. We were starting to get sales reports in 40 different forms from 40 different retailers. Our operations people were beginning to die under the overload. However, somebody called Royalty Share, a new company, has built a new technology in a new space to satisfy a new need. We're starting to work with them, and they consolidate all this information into one report and bring it to us in an organized format, saving us hours and hours and hours of work. This kind of thing, I think, is going to be part of our experience as we move forward, where all of the technology keeps changing, new players and new partners step in and make it possible for us to do our work. So the future, I don't know where we're going to go. The only thing that I can tell you is that we are embarking on a project starting this fall to completely rebuild our internal databases, because we are realizing that the content rather than the product is the center of our business, and we're going to throw out our database and start over again for, I think, the 4th time in our history. So this will be fun.